Hello everybody from my hotel, hope you're doing alright. This is the last word, but we're going to talk about Crystal Palace 2, Newcastle United 0. Yes, I hope you're doing alright everybody. So I am in the hotel. I was going to film outside Selhurst Park, but Mike and I wanted to get away, so it was dark in the car, so I thought I'll do it at the hotel. So here we are, showing you around this wonderful place. This is my home for 3 days as I'm staying down south with work commitments and so on. Look, we'll address the elephant in the room, which is the penalty incident. I will come to that in a moment because I still have not changed my mind. I have calmed down a bit, but I'm adamant. But we'll come to that later. Let me know what you think in the comments down there below. But the talking point this week, Callum Wilson was back. We expected him to start from the bench, which was true. The only thing from this depleted side, because let's face it, we've got injuries galore. Willock's out for the season. Miley's out for the season. Lascelles is out for 9 months. Botman's out for 9 months. Tonali till August. Pope for another few more weeks. Joe Litton for another few more weeks. It's just never ending. I've probably missed 1 or 2 off still, Trippier. But the only really thing that maybe Tino Livramento could have started. That's probably the only thing, maybe, as Jacob Murphy started right back. But obviously the team that defeated Spurs 4-0 was an absolutely fantastic display of football. And going from that man-to-man, matching up with Spurs, to this tonight, it's a totally different polar opposites of performance tonight. Newcastle was second best all round, without a shadow of a doubt. We deserve to get beat tonight. Yes, I know the penalty incident was a big talking point, but let's talk about the game then, since we are talking about it. Well, we will hear from Eddie Howe very shortly as well, but let's cut the chase. The first half was, well, in fact, both halves were poor, but the first half in particular was just, Newcastle didn't even test Dean Henderson. I think the best chance that we had was Henderson kind of smothered an Isak one-on-one, if you want to call it that, but there wasn't even a shot. Not to test the goalkeeper after you've just battered Spurs 4-0. I mean, how can you go from the one extreme to another by polar opposites? And Palace with Eze was a threat, and I think he's such a talent. Noticed that in QPR, asked Les Ferdinand about him. Just an absolute talent. And obviously Elise was on the bench for them as well, and it could have been a lot worse, but Mateta's on form, Palace are scoring goals. The change of management has obviously helped them recently, and I like going to Crystal Palace in terms of the atmosphere. The location of it, not so great, but look, they were peppering with goal headers, and they deserved, for me, at that time, to go 1-0 up at half time. For me, because I just thought we were second best. But we'll talk about the second half, because there's the 2 goals which we've conceded, and also, of course, that penalty incident. Let's talk about the goal that they scored. Mateta, it's a simple 1-2. Old school move. You get taught this in like literally primary school, didn't you? And it outdoes Fabian Schär, and it outdoes Dan Burn, and Mateta slots it home 1-0 up, and to be honest, they deserve it. Obviously, Eddie Howe does try and change it by bringing Callum Wilson on late and going 2 up top. The man in form for Newcastle all season, Anthony Gordon, playing on the right hand side. He was just a different figure than he was. We don't get the best out of him. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind him when he goes over to that right-hand side, but for me tonight, he was out there too much, isolated for a good hour. And yes, we moved him central and moved him to the left and what have you later on, but for me, it's pretty evident that Anthony Gordon is that left wing position. I think you can move him, don't get me wrong, but I don't want it to be for long periods of spells. You can always change your wingers around and what have you. But we're not getting the best out of him playing as a striker, which we've had to at times because of injuries. On the right hand side, you've just got to let him play left wing. You've just got to. That has to be his own. And if that means Harvey Barnes has to play on the right predominantly for the match, then so be it. That's the way I would do it. I wouldn't do it the other way around. Not the moment, not fair. With Gordon's form is sensation at the minute, but Isak obviously was the channels. That was the clear tactic from Newcastle's point of view, and we just didn't really get anything until the penalty incident, which is the massive talking point. It's a penalty. We've had a massive debate now on WhatsApp tonight. How the lad don't see that as a penalty just mind boggles me. It's a blatant penalty. So Sean Longstaff is running through and he's about to shoot, and Will Hughes clearly pulls his shoulder and he's a little bit off balance. Now granted, Sean Longstaff makes a massive meal of it afterwards because there's like a slow, delayed reaction to it. But that initial contact, that's a penalty. Anywhere else in the pitch, that's a free kick. And he gets booked for it, for dissent. Newcastle players are all surrounding the referee. Normally when you see a penalty incident, 1 or 2 may claim it or whatever, but to see 5 or 6 players, probably get fined by the FA, surrounding the referee tells you that there's genuine contact there. And look, don't get me wrong, Longstaff makes a meal of it because there is, and I think that doesn't help him whatsoever. But for me, we've seen a lot of decisions in the last few weeks, in particular of Nottingham Forest, that really, really got to me inside the ground. I was pissed off big time. And I couldn't get it out of my head for ages. I couldn't. And if we step and we score, it's a different game because the momentum switches to Newcastle. We've equalised. That's if we go and score the penalty, that is. It's not a given. But we equalise, the game changes, Newcastle can go on and either get 1 point or possibly 3. But it's a penalty. We can debate it in the comments all you like. It's a penalty for me. I'm not going to change that decision. I don't normally go on about referees. I don't. You go through all the videos that we've done in the last word this season, which is including match reactions and everything. You look at all the videos, all the games that we attended home and away. How often do we talk about a refereeing decision? It's probably no more than 5 videos. Realistically, tonight is one of them because that is a penalty. If you claim that it's not a penalty when you're running through on goal and Will Hughes does that and keeps him off balance, and yes, he falls over and makes a meal of it, but that initial contact is inside the box, that's a foul. How can you not see that and agree with it? Mind-boggling, but Palace go on and score the second one, Mateta, and I think Dubravka has to do better because it's through his legs for me. He has to save that, but the game's dead. And Newcastle lose 2-0. Seen the flood of Newcastle, and everyone's got the right to leave because they paid the tickets, but it does wind me up when a lot of fans start to leave, at least clap the players off. The performance wasn't there, but you can never question the work or the hard work that gets put in the training ground under Eddie Howe in particular. Steve Bruce might have a different question, but come on. Seeing people leave loads, by the way, I didn't like that. Didn't like that whatsoever. But in terms of the result, we deserve to get beat, as I say. I'm not bitter about the performance. Palace deserve it. They've been playing some fantastic football. You know, I'd love to have Eze at Newcastle. I'd probably love to have Elise. In fact, I'd have both of them. 2 brilliant talents that you've got, Palace fans, if you're watching. Brilliant. Unreal. Keeping a hold of them is a different question. But we deserve to get beat. We deserve to lose tonight. But my argument, of course, is that key incident, because it is key at that very moment. It's the biggest key moment in the whole of the game. But Newcastle going forward, what did we offer? What did we test Dean Henderson until the last minute? What did we do? Going on the right doesn't work for me. Keep him on the left. The midfield, Bruno was absolutely brilliant, I thought. The other 2, not so much. But we have to make with what we've got because of the injuries and stuff. But yeah, it's Eddie Howe.
Yeah, it was. It was a difficult game for us. I thought we were below our best levels today. Crystal Palace, I thought, played well. High pressing game. I think we were both trying to high press each other. But I think they were more effective at their game than we were today. We're disappointed. Came alive a little bit in the second half and had moments and opportunities. But yeah, we weren't good enough. Yeah, we were getting ourselves trapped into the corners of the pitch, which is something we obviously didn't want. But you have to credit them with that. But we didn't have the solutions and the technical ability today to play around that. Usually, I'd say we would have the ability to do it, but today we just weren't at our very best levels. And then goals decide games, and we made some mistakes and got punished. And when it was 0-0, I think it was anyone's game. It could have been very similar to Fulham for us, where we didn't play well, but we were able to nick a win. But unfortunately, we conceded 2 poor goals. We went with the same system because we believe the system could be successful today, but it's probably better when we tweak things, and we were changing things within the game to try and get a better feel for the game. We did improve, but not enough.
So that was Eddie Howe on the performance. He says the penalty is 50-50. For me, it's a penalty. For me, it's a penalty. Maybe he doesn't want to get into trouble. But look, the league table, should we bring it up? yeah, let's bring it up. Let's talk about the league table. So Newcastle have dropped to 7th. Manchester United were playing Sheffield United. You expect them to win that one, despite the carry-ons of Man United. I don't think Ten Hag will be in the job past the end of the season. Said that for a few weeks now. But they've moved up to 6th. Newcastle are 7th. But despite the defeat, the European chase is still on. The 2 games coming up next are perfect. You can't ask for you can't ask for 2 better games. You're playing 19th place Burnley, who are shipping in goals left, right, and centre, like we are, to be fair. But we should be winning that game. You know, they've been battered. And then you're playing Sheffield United. The 2 bottom teams, you've got to go and get 6 points, and now the Burnley one's away. But for me, that has to be 6 points. If you want to qualify for Europe, you've got 2 games there. There's 6 points. We've got the big one with Man United coming up in a not so long distance, that midweek game. But these next 2 games, go and win them, go and get 6 points. You'll put a statement out because it'll push you probably back to 6 by the time we're playing Man United again. But look, it's disappointing because it's took me 6 hours to get here and play my violin and what have you, and a lot of Toon fans will not get home till they're on the coaches as I speak, and they'll not get home till probably 4, 5, 6 a.m. because they'll have to get a lift from wherever they get dropped off, Durham, Gateshead, Newcastle, wherever they get dropped off at the coaches and stuff. But yeah, credit to all the Toon fans who've come doing the long way. As I say, I'm staying down here for a few days because there's no point me working on these videos, driving through the night just to do a long 11-hour shift back in Newcastle when I can do it down here. But look, it's a disappointing night. It is a disappointing night. We've got so many people out injured. Would that have helped? Yes, it would. I generally feel that. But at least Callum Wilson is back. It's a bit of competition, an alternative choice, perhaps. Or, you want to go 2 up top. It didn't work tonight, but in the future that might. But yeah, there's a few players in that starting lineup for me that are not Premier League level. We've got beat. We've got to move on. That's all you can do. Roll on Burnley on the weekend there. So drop us a like, everybody, if you can. That would be absolutely wonderful. And from Sutton, because that's where I'm staying, 5 miles from Croydon. Thank you everyone for watching, and hope you've enjoyed the videos tonight. Ta-da, bye-bye.